Hi, everyone. I'm Derek Jackson, candidate for Washington County Sheriff, and I'll be on the August 6th primary ballot. I'm coming to you today to talk about immigration. It's funny, but my opponents, one on either side, have said some pretty disparaging things about my stance on immigration and what we currently do here in Washington County. On one hand, saying I'm unsafe for the community because I refuse to work with immigration enforcement. On the other hand, pretending like we're out here doing raids alongside ICE and deporting people. Both of them wrong, and both of them spreading dangerous misinformation that makes all of us less safe. And it makes us less safe for primary one reason. And that is, if the undocumented community in Washington County really believes that local law enforcement is working hand in hand with ICE to deport them, they won't trust us. And if they won't trust us, they won't call us when they need us. And if they won't call us when they need us, they aren't going to call us when they've been a victim of a crime. That means the person who perpetrated that crime is still in our community, and we are all less safe. So I'm here today to set the record straight. Now, the policy I'm going to read from is on the Sheriff's Office website, and so don't take my word for it. We'll put the link in the description, and we ask you to go read it for yourself. But when I was asked to craft this policy many, many years ago, I did what I always do. I reached out to some friends and colleagues who worked in the immigrant rights community, and I asked them to sit around the table and help craft this document, because I know that those closest to the problem are always closest to the solution. So I said, would you come around the table with us to teach us, to learn with us, to debate with us, to edit this document and craft it and co-create the very policy that is not just the Sheriff's Office policy, but every agency in Washington County uses this same policy. And so I just want to read a few pieces to you. Employees shall not profile individuals when deciding to initiate or in the process of conducting investigations or enforcement activity. Suspicion of undocumented immigration status is not a reason to initiate investigative actions. In other words, we don't ask. We don't ask when you report a crime. We don't ask your status when you're a victim of a crime. We don't ask when you witness a crime. We don't even ask what your status is when you're a suspect in a crime. We don't ask when we pull you over, and we don't ask if you're a passenger in a car that was pulled over. Immigration enforcement is not an issue for local law enforcement to get involved in. Metro dispatch staff shall not inquire about a caller's immigration status or dispatch a deputy sheriff or police officer to a location when the complaint is based solely upon the caller's suspicion of an individual's immigration status. We don't ask when someone calls 911 what their status is, and our dispatchers don't care. They're just there to help the person who needs assistance on the other end of the phone. The Sheriff's Office will not detain an individual under the sole justification of an immigration detainer from ICE. Now, the truth of the fact matter is that ICE does submit detainers to us. We deny many of those, unless it is accompanied by a judicial warrant from a federal judge, which, by the way, is very rare. But if a judge places a warrant on an individual, we will honor that warrant. Now, there's one other place where we do ask about someone's citizenship, and it's when you get booked into our jail. But we have to by law, and here's why. Imagine you're off on vacation somewhere, you get arrested, and you wind up in a jail in another country. Wouldn't you want the U.S. Embassy or your family to know where you are? Well, the same thing here in the U.S. When someone is booked into our jail, we ask them, do we want to contact their embassy in their home country? If they say yes, we do. If they say no, we don't. But that is the one place where we ask about citizenship. Now, there is one exception to our policy, and that is when someone commits a heinous crime here in Washington County. Assault with intent to murder, child pornography, serious domestic violence, things like that. It would be unconscionable for us to know someone who committed that kind of crime to let them right back out in the streets of Washington County. But that is the only exception to our policy. Now, there are a couple of places where you might see a patrol car or a deputy sheriff out when ICE is in action. And that's because when we wrote this policy, the very people, the undocumented community who was around the table with us, they wanted us to know when ICE was in our community for two primary reasons. Number one, they wanted us to keep the peace, to keep things safe. Doesn't mean we're working hand in hand with ICE to deport people. We're there to make sure Washington County is safe for everyone. And second, they wanted us to be there to help pick up the pieces. When ICE comes into town and does what they do and rip apart families, we wanted to be there to make sure we were to help to pick the family up, connect them to the resources they need to help to start to repair that harm. So when you hear people talking about immigration in Washington County and officers rounding people up, know that they're wrong. Share the policy. share this video. But whatever you do, please make sure that the undocumented community in Washtenaw County knows that we are here to help keep them safe, just as we are here to keep every citizen of Washtenaw County safe. Thank you.